Are you eating the right nuts for your age, or are you unknowingly choosing varieties that could harm your heart, brain, and blood sugar? The truth is, not all nuts are created equal, especially when you're over 60. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly which 4 nuts provide the most powerful health benefits for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, and which 4 common types could be sabotaging your health right now. Here's something that might surprise you. One nut that most seniors avoid because they think it's too fattening is actually one of the most protective foods for aging brains, while another nut, heavily marketed as heart-healthy, could be doing the exact opposite for your cardiovascular system. Vernon, a 71-year-old retired mechanic from Pennsylvania, ate mixed nuts from a big jar every single day for years, genuinely believing all nuts were equally healthy. After his cardiologist took the time to review his specific nut choices during a routine visit and had him make 4 simple swaps, Vernon's cholesterol dropped 30 points in just 3 months, and his memory testing at his next annual physical showed noticeable improvement that even surprised his doctor. Nut to eat. Number 1. Walnuts. Walnuts are the single most powerful nut for protecting your brain as you age, and the scientific evidence supporting this is absolutely overwhelming. Research from Harvard Medical School and extensive studies conducted at Rush University in Chicago have demonstrated that walnuts contain significantly higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, than any other nut you can buy. These omega-3s are essential for maintaining healthy brain cell membranes and directly support the communication pathways between neurons that keep your memory sharp and your thinking clear. What makes this particularly important for seniors is that our brains naturally begin to shrink slightly after age 60, and cognitive decline accelerates when we don't provide the specific nutrients our brain cells need to stay healthy and resilient. The omega-3 fatty acids in walnuts have been directly linked in multiple peer-reviewed studies to slower rates of cognitive decline and reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Your brain is roughly 60% fat by composition, and it requires a constant supply of healthy fats to maintain the protective myelin sheaths around nerve fibers and to reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that damages brain tissue over time. When you eat walnuts regularly, you're providing your brain with the exact type of fat it needs most. Just 7 walnut halves daily, which is approximately 1 ounce, provides the omega-3 fatty acids your brain requires to maintain optimal function and protect against age-related mental decline. These aren't empty promises or exaggerated claims. The scientific literature is clear and consistent on this point. Without adequate omega-3 intake, brain cells deteriorate at a faster rate, and your risk of developing dementia, experiencing depression, and suffering cognitive impairment escalates sharply, especially after age 60, when your body's natural protective mechanisms begin to weaken. The inflammation that omega-3s help control is one of the primary drivers of brain aging, and chronic inflammation in the brain has been identified as a major contributor to memory loss, confusion, and the personality changes that often accompany dementia. Walnuts also contain polyphenols and vitamin E, both of which provide additional antioxidant protection that shields your brain cells from oxidative damage caused by normal metabolic processes. Gloria, a 68-year-old retired elementary school teacher from Arizona, started eating a small handful of walnuts every morning with her oatmeal after reading about brain health. And within just a few weeks, she told her doctor that her mental clarity had improved noticeably, and she was remembering names and appointments much more easily than she had in years. The solution couldn't be simpler or more straightforward. Eat 7 to 10 walnut halves every single morning with your breakfast, or chop them up and mix them into your oatmeal, yogurt, or even a morning smoothie. You can also keep a small container of walnuts in your bag or at your desk for an afternoon snack. Buy them raw or lightly roasted with no added salt and store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator to keep them fresh and prevent the oils from going rancid. Your brain is aging every single day, and every day without adequate omega-3s is a day of accelerated decline. Feed your brain the protection it desperately needs, starting today. Not to eat, but to. Almonds. Almonds might be the most underappreciated nut when it comes to supporting bone strength and blood sugar control. Two absolutely critical concerns for seniors. Research published by the Mayo Clinic and extensive studies conducted at Tufts University have shown that almonds are exceptionally rich in vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber. Three nutrients that most people over 60 are deficient in without even realizing it. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from oxidative damage and plays an essential role in maintaining bone density by supporting the cells that build new bone tissue. Magnesium is involved in over 300 different biochemical reactions in your body, including the processes that regulate blood sugar levels and the mechanisms that deposit calcium into your bones rather than allowing it to accumulate in soft tissues where it can cause harm. Just 1 ounce of almonds, which is approximately 23 individual nuts, provides 37% of your daily vitamin E requirement and helps stabilize the blood sugar spikes that occur after meals, which is particularly important if you're managing or trying to prevent type 2 diabetes. The fiber content in almonds slows down the absorption of sugars into your bloodstream, preventing the dramatic rises and crashes in blood glucose that damage your blood vessels and organs over time. This is why studies have shown that people who eat almonds regularly have better blood sugar control and lower hemoglobin A1C levels compared to those who don't include nuts in their diet. The magnesium in almonds also helps your muscles relax and supports healthy blood pressure levels, providing cardiovascular benefits that extend far beyond blood sugar management. Vitamin E deficiency is surprisingly common in older adults and directly accelerates bone loss while simultaneously increasing your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, both of which are already elevated concerns for everyone over 60, especially women who face additional bone loss challenges after menopause. Without adequate magnesium, your body cannot properly regulate insulin, the hormone responsible for moving sugar from your bloodstream into your cells, where it can be used for energy. Low magnesium levels have been strongly associated with insulin resistance, the precursor to full diabetes. Walter, a 73-year-old insurance agent from Ohio, replaced his afternoon cookies and snacks with a handful of raw almonds, and was genuinely amazed when his hemoglobin A1C levels, which measure average blood sugar over 3 months, improved significantly at his 6-month checkup without any other dietary changes. Keep a small container of raw or dry roasted unsalted almonds in your bag, your car, or on your kitchen counter where you'll see them, and remember to eat them. Aim for about 1 ounce daily, which fits easily in the palm of your hand. You can eat them plain as a snack between meals, slice them over a salad for added crunch and nutrition, or blend them into a morning smoothie. Avoid the heavily salted or honey-roasted varieties, which add unnecessary sodium and sugar that undermine the health benefits. Every single day without adequate vitamin E and magnesium is a day your bones get weaker and your diabetes risk climbs higher. Start protecting your body today with this one simple habit. Not to eat. 3. Pistachios. Pistachios might be the most underestimated nut for supporting heart health and maintaining a healthy gut, 2 systems that become increasingly vulnerable as we age. Research conducted at Penn State University and studies published by the American Heart Association have demonstrated that eating pistachios regularly lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol ratios by increasing good HDL cholesterol while decreasing harmful LDL cholesterol, and provides prebiotic fiber that feeds the beneficial bacteria in your digestive system. These beneficial gut bacteria are absolutely essential for proper immune function, nutrient absorption, and even mental health. And the diversity and population of these good bacteria naturally decline as we get older, unless we actively support them with the right foods. Clinical studies have shown that eating pistachios daily can reduce systolic blood pressure, the top number in your blood pressure reading, by 5 to 6 points without making any other changes to diet or lifestyle. That might not sound like much, but for seniors managing hypertension, even a few points can make a significant difference in stroke risk and heart attack risk. The combination of healthy fats, fiber, potassium, and antioxidants in pistachios works together to relax blood vessels, reduce inflammation in artery walls, and support the endothelial cells that line your cardiovascular system. Pistachios also contain lutein, a compound that protects your eyes from age-related damage, and phytosterols that help block cholesterol absorption in your intestines. Poor gut health and elevated blood pressure after age 60 dramatically increase your risk of having a stroke, suffering a heart attack, and experiencing overall higher mortality rates from cardiovascular disease, which remains the leading cause of death in American seniors. When your gut bacteria population is unhealthy or imbalanced, your immune system doesn't function properly. You're more susceptible to infections, and you may experience chronic digestive issues that make eating uncomfortable and lead to nutrient deficiencies. The inflammation that results from an unhealthy gut also contributes to heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline. Estelle, a 69-year-old bookkeeper from Nevada, started eating a quarter cup of shelled pistachios every afternoon as her snack, and was delighted when her blood pressure dropped enough at her next checkup that her doctor was genuinely impressed and told her to keep doing whatever she was doing. Buy pistachios already shelled to avoid the extra sodium that's often added to in-shell varieties, and eat about a quarter cup, which is roughly 49 nuts, as an afternoon snack or mixed into a salad. You can also sprinkle them over yogurt or oatmeal for added texture and nutrition. Choose unsalted or lightly salted versions to keep your sodium intake under control. Store them in an airtight container in a cool, dry place or in the refrigerator to maintain freshness. Your heart and your gut need support right now, not next week or next month. And pistachios deliver both benefits in one simple, delicious snack that takes zero preparation time. Not to eat the for Brazil nuts. Did you know that eating just 2 Brazil nuts daily can provide critical protection for your thyroid gland and immune system? Brazil nuts are the richest natural food source of selenium, a trace mineral that's absolutely essential for thyroid hormone production, immune cell function, and antioxidant defense systems throughout your entire body. Research from the National Institutes of Health has shown that selenium levels naturally decline with age, and deficiency becomes increasingly common in seniors, often contributing to thyroid problems, weakened immunity, and increased vulnerability to infections and chronic diseases. Your thyroid gland requires selenium to convert the inactive form of thyroid hormone into the active form that regulates your metabolism, energy levels, body temperature, heart rate, and even your mood. Just 2 medium-sized Brazil nuts provide over 150% of your daily selenium requirement, which might sound excessive, but is actually beneficial for most seniors who have been running low on this crucial mineral without realizing it. Selenium is also essential for producing glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant, which protects your cells from oxidative damage and supports liver detoxification processes. Studies have shown that adequate selenium intake is associated with reduced cancer risk, better immune response to infections, and improved cognitive function in older adults. The selenium in Brazil nuts is highly bioavailable, meaning your body can easily absorb and use it, unlike some supplement forms that aren't absorbed as efficiently. Selenium deficiency in seniors significantly increases the risk of thyroid dysfunction, which can cause unexplained weight gain or loss, chronic fatigue, depression, memory problems, and sensitivity to cold temperatures. Low selenium also weakens your immune system's ability to fight off viruses and bacteria, making you more susceptible to respiratory infections and slower to recover when you do get sick. Some research has even suggested links between low selenium levels and increased cancer risk, particularly prostate cancer in men and breast cancer in women. Harold, a 74-year-old farmer from Kansas, struggled with persistent fatigue and brain fog for months until blood testing revealed his selenium levels were quite low, and after adding just 2 Brazil nuts to his daily breakfast routine, his energy returned noticeably within about a month. The solution is remarkably simple, but comes with one important caution. Eat only 2 to 3 Brazil nuts daily, not more, because excessive selenium intake can actually become toxic and cause problems like hair loss, nail brittleness, and digestive upset. 2 nuts is the sweet spot that provides optimal benefits without any risk. Eat them with breakfast or lunch, either plain or chopped and mixed into yogurt or oatmeal. Store Brazil nuts in the refrigerator in an airtight container because their high-fat content makes them go rancid quickly at room temperature. Your thyroid gland controls far more of your body's functions than most people realize, and giving it the selenium it needs can improve energy, mood, weight management, and overall vitality almost immediately. Nut to avoid number 1. Heavily salted and roasted nuts. Those convenient cans and jars of heavily salted roasted nuts that seem like a harmless snack could actually be destroying your blood pressure and undermining your heart health with every handful. The American Heart Association and research from Johns Hopkins University have made it abundantly clear that excessive sodium intake directly increases hypertension, stroke risk, and heart disease, which are already the leading causes of death and disability among American seniors. When you look at the nutrition label on heavily salted nuts, you'll often see that a single 1-ounce serving contains 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium, and let's be honest, most people eat far more than 1 ounce at a time, especially when watching television or snacking mindlessly. This means you can easily consume 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium just from nuts, which is a huge chunk of the 1500 milligram daily limit recommended for seniors managing blood pressure. The sodium in heavily salted nuts causes your body to retain excess fluid, which increases the volume of blood your heart has to pump through your arteries and veins, directly elevating blood pressure. Over time, this extra workload damages artery walls, makes them less flexible, and contributes to the development of atherosclerosis, where plaque builds up inside blood vessels and restricts blood flow. High blood pressure is especially dangerous when your heart is already aging and may not be as strong as it was decades ago. The excessive salt also interferes with your kidney's ability to regulate fluid balance, and since kidney function naturally declines with age, seniors are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of high sodium intake. High sodium consumption causes fluid retention that leads to swelling in your legs and feet, elevated blood pressure that damages blood vessels throughout your body, and increased cardiac workload that strains your heart muscle and can eventually lead to heart failure. The damage happens gradually and silently, which is why high blood pressure is often called the silent killer. You might not feel any symptoms until serious damage has already occurred. Many seniors are consuming far more sodium than they realize, because salt is hidden in so many processed and packaged foods, and adding heavily salted nuts on top of that pushes total intake to truly dangerous levels. Clayton, a 70-year-old former truck driver from Georgia, loved eating salted roasted almonds while watching his evening news. But when he switched to unsalted raw almonds at his wife's insistence, his blood pressure dropped enough over 2 months that his doctor was able to adjust his monitoring schedule because his numbers had improved so significantly. Choose raw nuts or dry roasted unsalted versions of your favorite varieties, whether that's almonds, cashews, pecans, or walnuts. If you absolutely must have some salt for flavor, add just a tiny pinch of sea salt yourself so you can control exactly how much goes on. Your taste buds will adjust within a week or two, and you'll start appreciating the natural flavor of nuts without needing excessive salt. Read labels carefully, because even products labeled as lightly salted can still contain substantial sodium. Every salty handful you eat is working directly against your heart and blood vessels, undoing the benefits of any other healthy choices you're making. Make this simple switch immediately and give your cardiovascular system the support it needs. Not to avoid number 2, candied, honey-roasted, or sugar-coated nuts. Think those honey-roasted peanuts or candied pecans are a harmless treat just because they contain nuts. The reality is that the added sugar coating completely undermines any health benefits the nuts might provide and actively harms your body in multiple ways. Research from Harvard-Th. Chan School of Public Health and data from the Centers for Disease Control show conclusively that added sugars dramatically spike blood glucose levels, promote widespread inflammation throughout your body, and accelerate the progression of type 2 diabetes in older adults who are already at elevated risk. When manufacturers coat nuts in sugar, honey, or candy coatings, they're transforming a healthy food into something closer to candy than to real nutrition. A typical serving of candied or honey-roasted nuts, which most people vastly exceed when snacking, can contain 8 to 12 grams of added sugar, or even more depending on the brand and variety. That sugar is absorbed rapidly into your bloodstream, causing your blood glucose to spike dramatically and forcing your pancreas to release large amounts of insulin to bring levels back down. Over time, this repeated cycle of spikes and crashes leads to insulin resistance, where your cells stop responding properly to insulin, and your blood sugar remains chronologically elevated. This is the pathway to type 2 diabetes, and it also promotes weight gain, specifically around your abdomen, the most dangerous type of fat accumulation because it surrounds your internal organs and releases inflammatory compounds into your bloodstream. Regular consumption of sugar-coated nuts increases your diabetes risk substantially, promotes abdominal weight gain that's extremely difficult to lose after age 60, and accelerates the cognitive decline that's been strongly linked to chronically elevated blood sugar levels in numerous research studies. High blood sugar damages blood vessels throughout your body, including the tiny capillaries that supply your brain, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. This vascular damage is why diabetes leads to complications like vision loss, kidney failure, and peripheral neuropathy. The inflammation triggered by sugar also damages joints, contributes to arthritis pain, and interferes with your immune system's ability to fight infections. Lucille, a 67-year-old office manager from Tennessee, absolutely loved honey-roasted pecans and ate them almost daily until her doctor showed her test results indicating she'd developed pre-diabetes. And when she eliminated the candied nuts and replaced them with plain roasted pecans, her blood sugar levels improved noticeably within 3 months. If you're craving something sweet with nuts, pair plain unsalted nuts with fresh fruit instead, combining them with apple slices, berries, or a small piece of dark chocolate that contains at least 70% cocoa. The natural sugars in fruit come packaged with fiber that slows absorption and prevents the dramatic blood sugar spikes that added sugars cause. You can also make your own lightly sweetened nuts at home using a tiny amount of honey or maple syrup mixed with cinnamon, giving you complete control over sugar content. Stop buying any nuts that list sugar, honey, corn syrup, or any sweetener in the first few ingredients. Sugar is aging your body faster than time itself, promoting inflammation, damaging blood vessels, and setting the stage for serious chronic diseases. Eliminate it from your nuts today. Not to avoid. Number 3, rancid or improperly stored nuts. Those old nuts that have been sitting in your pantry for months or maybe even years might be producing toxins that are quietly damaging your cells every time you eat them. Food safety research from Cornell University and multiple studies on lipid oxidation have shown that nuts stored too long or kept improperly develop rancid fats that taste bitter or off and contain compounds that create free radicals and oxidative stress in your body. Free radicals are unstable molecules that damage cell membranes, DNA, and proteins, and they're major contributors to cancer development, heart disease, and accelerated aging. When the healthy fats in nuts are exposed to heat, light, or oxygen for extended periods, they undergo chemical changes that transform beneficial nutrients into potentially harmful substances. You can often tell when nuts have gone rancid by their smell and taste. Rancid nuts develop a sharp, bitter, or paint-like odor and an unpleasant flavor that's distinctly different from fresh nuts. However, sometimes the rancidity is mild enough that you might not notice it immediately, especially if you're eating nuts mixed with other foods. The problem is that even mildly rancid nuts contain oxidized fats that your body absorbs and that then contribute to systemic inflammation throughout your entire system. These oxidized fats can damage the lining of your blood vessels, interfere with cell signaling, and increase your risk of atherosclerosis and heart attacks. The longer nuts sit exposed to air, light, and warmth, the more extensively the fats break down and the more harmful compounds accumulate. Consuming rancid fats regularly promotes chronic low-grade inflammation that damages tissues throughout your body, accelerates visible and invisible signs of aging from wrinkled skin to stiff joints, and increases cancer risk because the free radicals damage cellular DNA and can trigger mutations that lead to cancer development. Your body's natural antioxidant defense systems become less efficient after age 60, which means you're less capable of neutralizing the free radicals produced by rancid fats. This makes it even more important for seniors to avoid oxidized oils and rancid nuts. The damage is cumulative, building up over time and contributing to the chronic diseases that become more common with age. Phyllis, a 72-year-old seamstress from Wisconsin, cleaned out her pantry one afternoon and realized the mixed nuts she'd been snacking on for months had a strange, slightly off smell. And after she threw them away and bought fresh nuts that she stored properly, the persistent stomach discomfort she'd been experiencing resolved completely within a couple of weeks. Store all your nuts in airtight containers in the refrigerator or freezer to dramatically extend their shelf life and prevent rancidity. Buy smaller quantities that you'll realistically consume within 3 to 4 weeks, rather than large bulk containers that sit around for months. Always smell nuts before eating them, and if they have any odor that seems unusual, bitter, or unpleasant, throw them out immediately without hesitation. Don't try to salvage them or convince yourself they're fine. Fresh nuts stored properly can last several months in the refrigerator and up to a year in the freezer. But nuts left in a warm pantry or exposed to light will go rancid within weeks. Check your pantry right now and examine any nuts you have stored there, because those old nuts sitting in the back aren't worth the health risk they pose. Nut to avoid, number 4. Whole large nuts, if you have dental or swallowing concerns. Hard, whole nuts can pose genuinely serious choking hazards and dental damage risks for seniors, and these dangers increase as we age due to changes in swallowing reflexes and tooth strength. Data from the Centers for Disease Control shows that whole nuts are among the top choking risks for older adults, and dental health research consistently shows that hard nuts like unshelled almonds, whole walnuts, and even pecans can crack weakened teeth or damage expensive dental work, including crowns, bridges, and implants that many seniors have. Emergency room statistics reveal that seniors frequently experience frightening choking incidents with whole nuts, and dentists report seeing cracked teeth from biting down on hard nuts far more often in patients over 60 than in younger patients whose tooth enamel is still strong and intact. As we age, our swallowing reflexes naturally slow down, and the coordination between chewing and swallowing becomes less automatic, increasing the risk that a large piece of food, like a whole nut, could get lodged in the throat. This is particularly concerning if you have any neurological conditions, take certain types of medications that cause dry mouth, or have dentures that don't fit perfectly and interfere with proper chewing. Tooth enamel also becomes thinner and more brittle with age, and teeth that have been weakened by years of use, previous dental work, or conditions like osteoporosis are much more susceptible to cracking when you bite down on something as hard as a whole almond or walnut. Once a tooth cracks, bacteria can enter and cause infection, and you're facing expensive dental procedures, potential tooth loss, and weeks of difficulty eating while the problem is addressed. Choking on food is a genuine medical emergency that can be fatal, especially for seniors living alone who might not have anyone nearby to help if something goes wrong. Even if choking doesn't result in death, it can cause aspiration pneumonia if food particles enter the lungs, and this type of pneumonia is particularly dangerous for older adults. Dental damage from biting hard nuts can lead to painful cracked teeth, expensive repairs that may not be fully covered by insurance, infections that require antibiotics or even root canals, and extended periods of difficulty eating properly, which can lead to poor nutrition and weight loss. Eugene, a 76-year-old retired postal worker from Virginia, cracked a molar when he bit down unexpectedly on a whole almond hidden in a salad. And the pain was so severe and the subsequent dental work so expensive and time-consuming that he now exclusively eats sliced or slivered almonds to completely avoid any possibility of repeating that miserable experience. Choose slivered, sliced or chopped nuts for your salads, yogurt and snacks, or grind whole nuts into nut butter using a food processor if you prefer a spreadable form. You get all the same nutritional benefits without any of the choking or dental risks. Nut butters made from almonds, cashews or walnuts are excellent choices that are easy to eat, easy to digest, and completely safe for teeth and swallowing. If you do choose to eat whole nuts, chew them very slowly and carefully, taking small bites and making absolutely certain each piece is completely chewed before swallowing. Never eat nuts while walking, talking or watching television when your attention is divided. Your safety matters more than convenience or tradition, so make the simple switch to chopped or sliced nuts today and eliminate this unnecessary risk entirely. You now know the 4 nuts that provide exceptional health benefits for seniors. Walnuts for powerful brain protection, almonds for bone strength and blood sugar control, pistachios for heart and gut health, and Brazil nuts for thyroid and immune support. You also know the 4 types to avoid: heavily salted versions that damage your blood pressure, sugar-coated varieties that spike blood sugar and promote diabetes, rancid nuts that create harmful free radicals, and whole hard nuts that pose choking and dental risks. These simple swaps will immediately improve your health trajectory, starting with your very next snack. Your body responds remarkably quickly to better nutrition at any age, and you now have the specific knowledge to make every handful of nuts work for your health instead of against it. Tell me in the comments which of these 4 beneficial nuts you'll start eating this week, and are any of the 4 types to avoid currently sitting in your pantry right now. If this cleared up confusion about which nuts are truly healthy for seniors, hit that like button and share this with friends over 60 who are trying to make better food choices. Your share could help someone make decisions that literally protect their brain and heart for years to come. Remember, every single time you reach for nuts, you're either supporting your health or undermining it, and now you know exactly which ones deserve space in your kitchen.